So, one of the biggest questions is like, well, how do you make it to where their kids or their grandkids can sell the property if somebody died and there was never a probate? The instrument that we use is called an affidavit of heirship. So it's like a probate shortcut. So Texas is one of those states to where you don't have to go through a full-blown probate to sell a property. You can basically do an affidavit of heirship. On the affidavit of heirship, it basically just lists who the who the person is that passed away, uh, when they was born, place that they died at, their last residence, who they was married to. You have to list the marriage information, the spouse, the day it happened, where it happened at, their kids, who the parent was. Um, but this is what affidavit heirship is. So it also needs two witnesses. Two witnesses is it's just for, I guess you could say, like backup, I guess. Like the two witnesses, just somebody to sign to say, hey, all the information inside this affidavit of heirship is correct, and I've been knowing the decedent for at least 10 years. That's pretty much what it is. Anybody can sign, anybody can be a witness, as long as they're not somebody that's making money from the sale, and it can't be like it can't be an heir's husband or child. Preferably it's like the friends of the families. A lot of people use like neighbors, their best friends, or people from church. But this is the document that's needed to be able to actually take it out the deceased person's name and put it inside the heir's name. Um, a lot of the information is found whenever you're doing the skip tracing for the most part. So how we normally do it is we would do all the research, find the heirs and all that type of stuff. And then once we decide to go after the whatever, we get the contract. Then we basically take the information that we found through a skip tracing and add it to an affidavit of heirship questionnaire. And on that questionnaire is different between title companies, right? So I use Stellar Title out in Dallas. They send me an affidavit of heirship questionnaire that looks one way and totally different from somebody sending one from, I guess you would say, Kane Title. It's all different. So all I do is take the information that we find and my VAs find through Ancestry and all that, put it on the questionnaire, call the family, make sure all of it's right. And once they give us a thumbs up, we send it over to the title company with the death certificates. And then the title company typically takes about 1 to 2 days to draft the actual official affidavit of heirship. So how I'm gonna train you guys to do this is to, whenever you're doing the skip tracing, if you see that somebody was married to somebody, go ahead and jot it down and write down the date, because you're going to need it anyway if they decide to sell the property. And you already did the work to find it once, just copy and paste it. That way you don't have to double work. Sometimes I double work, but the real way is taking notes, and that way you just look at it one time and not twice. But this is the actual document that actually makes these deals possible. And this is the actual document that trips up so many wholesalers that they just don't understand how to do it or how to piece it together. So they rely on the family, but they don't understand that the title company can't do an active heirship if the family don't know all the actual facts. They got to know everything. So if you call somebody, tell them that you want to buy it, and then you give them the questionnaire and let them figure it on their own, they got to go run through ancestry. Like they got to start their whole skip. They got to learn skip tracing on their own most of the time, because a lot of these people, they don't even know the person that passed by. They passed away. They just know the person. They just know of the person. So they a lot of wholesalers rely on sellers to go find all this information, when yet y'all know exactly what skip tracing is. You guys just don't know how to actually dig in deep. And that's the reason why a lot of the times the seller look at it and say, dude, I don't got time for this, and they walk away, and then you guys go put a lien on the property. Um, but yeah, this is a document that's needed. My name is blank, and I reside at whatever address, 123 Main Street. I am personally familiar with the family and marital history of whoever that passed away. The find is usually one of the heirs, so I just pick I pick the heir that is going to be the most helpful. That don't mind moving around, don't mind gathering things. That's the person that I want to make the find. So my name, the decedent was my mother. The decedent was born, I don't know, January 10th, and died on, I don't know, February 10th, 1987. I don't know. Place of death, Dallas County. At the time of the decedent's death, death's resident was located at the property address or whatever address you have. It's always best to use the addresses on the death certificate. Sometimes that's not known, but it's always best. Uh, Title company ain't gonna say nothing about it though. Decedent, married John Smith on December 12th, 1932, and remained married to him until her death or his death, whoever dies first, on, I don't know, a date, 1987. I don't know. The decedent had the following children: John Smith Jr., who was born January 10th and resides at whatever the address, whatever is, and the dad was named whoever, John Smith Sr., whatever. And you just keep doing it for how many kids they have. That's how you actually do the affidavit of heirship. When you start buying out, I guess, shares outside the title, and let's say it's three heirs, you cash out two of them for 500 apiece. Then you get a one that held out 2,000 or whatever. Well, you're gonna have to do your own AOH and stuff like that. So it's very important that you know this information and how to do it. Because deals to where you have multiple heirs and everybody isn't in agreement, well, you can't get through a title company that way. You will have to do it outside of title. So you got to know exactly the steps that's required to take it out the deceased person's name and into the living heir's name. Because if you get that person to sign a deed over to you, it doesn't mean nothing because there was never an AOH done to actually give that person right to sell it over to you. Decedent died in intestate. There has been no administration of decedent's estate and none is expected. Decedent left no debts that are unpaid. There are no unpaid estate taxes, inherited taxes. To the best of my knowledge, decedent owned the interest in the following real property. You want to use the correct legal description. You don't want to copy and paste a legal description from the county website. You want to use an actual real legal description, and I'll show that to you later. And this is the legal jargon, and state of Texas, county of, whatever. The notary signs this. This interested person, which is the witnesses. But that's exactly how you do an affidavit of heirship.